Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Daily Word. Today's Monday, August 30th of the year 2021. Hard to believe at the end of the month of August and going to turn the calendar to September. Kind of welcome. Hopefully, the weather is going to cool off a little bit, so maybe we'll get a reprieve from the heat that we've been experiencing the past few days. We got some rain last night. It's nice on the porch this morning as I come to you from my porch on 4 Acre Avenue for our daily word together. It's nice to be out here for a little bit this morning. I have an appointment to get to in a little bit, so I'll be making my way to that. So this morning's scripture, it's a short piece. It's kind of like the other day, this little short piece. It comes from the Beatitudes. It's this little short piece that talks to us about what it means about hunger. So we hear these words. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. Now, I would suppose we could read this particular verse and place our emphasis in lots of places on various words. And by doing that, the emphasis that we place might change the definition of it for us. Blessed are you who hunger now. Blessed are you who are hungry now. You can hear that, right? It kind of can change how we react to it. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. If you're like me, there are days that I go to bed hungry and I wake up hungry. And there are some days, if we're honest with ourselves, we base our schedules around what we're going to do about meals, what we're going to have for breakfast, what we're going to have for lunch, what we're going to have for dinner. Often the discussion that Diane and I have, well, it is a discussion every day, and we'll have it this afternoon. What's for dinner? And we eat out 90% of the time. So what's for dinner for us is really what are we going to order? What drive-through are we going to go through? Where are we going to place an order and pick it up and bring it back home? We haven't been going into a lot of restaurants these days because of the pandemic rearing its ugly head again. But, our conversations are based on that, right? What are we going to do to satisfy this biggest need in our life? And this biggest need has to do with hunger, right? The other day, Diane and I were on the phone with her dad. And we're talking to him and asking what he's been up to, and our conversation, or at least his conversation, revolved around food. Well, there's not really a good place to go and eat, and I'll sometimes go to the Dairy Queen, and there's not a good place to go. But he went to a certain place and he got spaghetti, and he brought half of it home, and then he had that for dinner, and we had this big, long conversation since the last time we had talked to him about meals. And we finally ended that conversation, and I told Diane, your dad, man, he eats to live and he lives to eat. I would suppose that's true for all of us. So Jesus is remarking to those who would listen, those who have ears, let them hear, in this particular text. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. It's interesting that hunger is only satiated for a while. We eat a lot, we put it in our bellies, and then the way our body works, and the way chemistry works, and the way digestion works, we're hungry at some point again later. And so we find the next thing to fill that need. Now, hunger is an interesting thing, right? In the midst of this surgery, and even before it, I've lost a lot of weight. I don't even know how much, but it's a lot. It's in excess of 30 pounds. Not that it hurt me by any stretch of the imagination. And much of that comes from just eating less and recognizing what I'm eating. But Jesus talks to us more than just about, what we put in our bellies. Because sometimes this hunger that is in our lives has to do with being incomplete. you know, what it, sometimes we just feel incomplete. We feel like we can't ever get the two ends to meet. Sometimes that's financially, sometimes it's in a matter of time and space. Sometimes it's just because we put too much on our plate and we can't make it all happen. Sometimes we overcommit ourselves, you know, and then we can't figure out what's next in our lives. Sorry, I can't get comfortable today. Um, we we feel incomplete, or and then we try to fill our incompleteness with buying stuff, you know, or eating too much, or going on the internet and going on a spending spree. Uh, we remain incomplete. Sometimes we're hungry because we are spiritually depleted. We've lost sight of God and where God moves in our lives. Our prayer life has suffered. We don't engage in worship like we should, and so we become spiritually depleted. And that hunger, you know, then drives us to fill it with other things in life that really take our attention. Jesus says to us, "Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled." I'm convinced that this hunger, this incompleteness, this spiritual depletedness, if you will, um, I think this scripture reminds us, "For you will be filled," reminds us that Jesus meets us where we are, that God meets us right where we are. And Luke shares this, it's a prophetic thing, really. It's really a prophetic proclamation that those who hunger will be filled. Those who hunger will be filled. It's a it's a prophecy. You see, and I think that we need to hear that in our lives, that wherever we are, maybe we really are physically hungry, maybe. Or maybe we are just incomplete, and maybe we're spiritually depleted. Maybe you're like me, you know, you're searching for wholeness in life and working hard to get there physically. The prophetic nature of the scripture reminds us that we will be filled. And we have this invitation at the divine table to come and share in the good news and be filled with all the good news that God has to offer us. And so I think about it today, in the midst of the end of a month and the beginning of a new month, and I have lots to do. I want to get a lot accomplished this week, my last week at home. You know, it's quiet here. I want to get some things done, some planning ahead, working on my calendar. I really hope to do that. In the midst of our lives, the turning of a calendar, we're reminded that the prophetic call of Jesus in this is that we will be filled, that God meets us where we are. And I think that's just such good news for us, that we need to hear. I certainly need to hear it in all of my life, that God meets us where I am and fills me and then pushes me ready for, you know, the month of September and all that it is that challenges me and moves me and shapes my life. And so, blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. Maybe we're not physically hungry, but maybe we're incomplete. Maybe we're spiritually depleted. Maybe we just can't make ends meet. Maybe we're struggling with the pandemic. Maybe we're trying to figure out where we fit in life and work and in relationships. The prophetic nature of the scripture reminds us that we will be filled and God meets us where we are. It's a word I needed to hear today, and I hope a word that you needed to hear on this day. So, have a great day. Enjoy the beauty of today. Hopefully, we're going to get some more rain. Hopefully, it's going to rain every day this week, actually. That'd be great for us. Know of God's grace, mercy, love, and filling in your life. Know of my love for all of you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day, my friends.